Hey there my fellow Commander players, Cosmic Mango here, your favourite mango from outer space. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will showcase some powerful commanders that pack a powerful punch in the world of Magic the Gathering. These commanders may not have the same hype as the most popular choices in the format, but don't underestimate them. Their unique abilities and strategies can lead to some spicy and epic victories. So, if you're looking for something uncommon and different to bring to the Commander tables, you have stumbled upon the correct video. Before we start, let's quickly talk about my friends at Playmat Designs. They make fantastic playmats with amazing artwork. Their playmats are made with great care and are incredibly durable. So, if you're looking for a top-notch playmat to up your Commander games, then I've got a great discount code for you and it's really easy to claim. Simply click the link that pops up now in the right hand corner of my YouTube video and it will direct you to a landing page which is offering an exclusive offer on Playmat Design playmats for my YouTube viewers. Simply claim the coupon, add your email and away you go. You can even find the link in my YouTube description. I also recently made a Patreon, feel free to check it out, the link is in my description below. Okie dokie, let's have a look at these underrated and powerful commanders. Number 1, Legolas, Master Archer. A legendary elf archer creature that costs 2 green and 1 generic mana to cast. He has 1 power and 4 toughness and says the following. Reach. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Legolas, Master Archer, put a +1/+1 counter on Legolas. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, Legolas deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature. Okay, who doesn't love Legolas, eh? Lord of the Rings is awesome. So, Legolas Master Archer is an excellent commander that pumps out a lot of power. Whenever you target Legolas with a spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. This means if you're playing green buff spells such as Giant Growth, which only costs 1 mana by the way, you can very quickly build Legolas Master Archer into an absolute unit, with enough power to remove players with commander damage. The other cool extra effect is, if you target a creature you don't control with a spell, Legolas deals damage to that creature based on Legolas's power. This means you can utilize his abilities with low casting spells to remove opponent's creatures with ease from the game. This is one sweet commander and well worth picking up, and you can buy this commander for around 50 cents. Number 2, Moira and Teshar. A legendary Phyrexian spirit bird creature that costs 1 white and 1 black and 3 generic mana to cast. It has 4 power and 5 toughness and says the following. Flying. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Artifacts, legendaries and sagas are historic. What happens when you combine 2 strong commanders? You get 1 superb one in return. Myra and Tesha certainly are a powerful combination. You can do all sorts of cool tricks with this commander, but the main premise of the deck in my opinion is to bring back powerful non-land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So if you can find ways to discard powerful creature cards with mechanics such as Surveil, you can very easily bring them back to the battlefield by casting a historic spell. This means you can cheat out high costing non-land permanents for a way lower costing price. Myra and Tesha is an explosive style commander that can be an absolute blast to pilot, and you can buy this commander for around 50 cents. Number 3, Kinzu of the Bleak Coven. A legendary Phyrexian vampire creature that costs 1 black and 4 generic mana to cast. It has 5 power and 4 toughness and says the following. Flying. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life and exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1 and has Toxic 1. Players dealt combat damage by it also get a poison counter. Okay, if you're into Infect, you may very well enjoy playing Kinzu. In Commander, we start the game with 40 life, so the 2 life tax Kinzu offers is very minute, and well worth doing in my opinion. If you have any highly evasive creatures or creatures with amazing enter the battlefield triggers, you can very easily bring them back and utilize them to hopefully help clutch a win for yourself. It's worth noting, Kinzu also has flying and a nice 5 power to back it up, meaning if you are playing the Infect Toxic route and find ways to give her Infect or Toxic, she can very well be enough to remove opponents from the game alone. You can buy this commander for around 50 cents. Number 4, Arwen Mortal Queen. a legendary elf noble creature that costs 1 green, 1 white and 1 generic mana to cast. And she says the following. Arwen, Mortal Queen, enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. For 1 generic mana, remove an indestructible counter from Arwen, another target creature gains indestructible until the end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter and lifelink counter on that creature, and a +1/+1 counter and lifelink counter on Arwen. Okay, having the ability to gift indestructible to creatures is pretty huge, even if it's just for a turn, especially when considering that the ability Arwen has only costs 1 generic mana to activate. However, she has to have the indestructible counter on her in order to gift it to another creature, so I highly recommend trying to proliferate those counters. Any way you can think of doing that, or any other way you can think of doubling her counters, because the indestructible counters, you want to keep them around. We also gain +1/+1 and lifelink, which is pretty powerful. Arwen is overall a fantastic commander and only costs 3 total mana to get out. You can buy this commander for around $2.50. Number 5. This is a 2-sided commander. Ayara, Widow of the Realm. A legendary elf noble creature that costs 2 black and 1 generic mana to cast. She has 3 power and 3 toughness and says the following. Tap, sacrifice another creature or artifact. Ayara, Widow of the Realm deals X damage to target opponent or battle and you gain X life, where X is the sacrifice permanent's mana value. For 5 generic and either 1 red or 2 life, transform Ayara, activate only as a sorcery. Her transform side says the following. Ayara, Furnace Queen, with 4 power and 4 toughness and says the following. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return up to 1 target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, now this is one hyper fun commander to pick up and play, and it offers us 2 colours, red and black, the Rakdos pair. Having the ability to sacrifice either a creature or an artifact and being able to deal X damage to an opponent's life, where X is the mana value, is super sweet. This can lead to really explosive and high powered turns. And having a sack outlet on our commander allows us to build all sorts of interesting decks with the sack outlet theme. Her transform state is also hyper cool, as she can bring back something we want from our graveyard back to the battlefield for a whole turn. This means we can even bring back the things we sacrificed with Ayara in the first place. She's a very well synergized commander and a very powerful one to pick up and play with. You can buy this commander for around 50 cents. Number 6. Gandalf, Friend of the Shire. A legendary avatar wizard creature that costs 3 generic and 1 blue mana to cast. He has 2 power and 4 toughness and says the following. Flash. You may cast sorcery spells as though they have flash whenever the ring tempts you. If you choose a creature other than Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, as your ring bearer, draw a card. First off, this is the mighty Gandalf from the beloved Lord of the Rings. If that isn't enough to strike an interest in building this deck, then what will? Perhaps his excellent yet very simple kit. First off, flash on a commander is something we rarely see in Commander, and having it is exceptionally good, especially in mono blue, because we all know how much blue players like to hold on to their mana. Secondly, the ability to give all sorcery spells we control flash is bonkers. It's a very simple ability, but it has a massively powerful effect. This can lead you into extraordinary turns and allow you to hold your mana for all turns in the game, not just on your own, on your opponent's turns too, meaning your opponents will constantly see you as a threat and be scared to cast things because you could be holding up counter magic or any other horrible sorcery spell. An overall fantastic commander and very budget friendly to pick up, as you can buy this commander right now for around 35 cents. Number 7. Agatha of the Vow Squadron. A human warlock creature that costs 1 red and 1 green mana to cast. She has 1 power and 1 toughness and says the following. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha of the Vow Squadron's power. This effect can't reduce the mana in the cost to less than 1 mana. For 4 generic mana, 1 red and 1 green mana, other creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample and haste until the end of turn. Okay, I believe Agatha is a very unique commander and very underrated one as well. I rarely see her in action, but whenever I do, it's usually in YouTube video gameplays, and she always performs incredibly well. Being able to create a deck filled with X amount of abilities is very cool, and Agatha synergizes so well with them as she can dramatically reduce the ability costs based on her power. Furthermore, she offers a way to buff up our creatures, give them all +1/+1, trample, and haste until the end of turn, making her a great mana sink for the late game. If you're sitting at the late game and you haven't got it in your hand to cast but loads of mana, you can just pump it all into this ability, which is great. You can buy this commander for around $1.80. Number 8, the final card on my list, Zergo and Ojutai. A legendary orc dragon creature that costs 1 white, 1 red, 1 blue, and 2 generic mana to cast. It has 4 power and 4 toughness and says the following. Flying Haste. Zurgo Ojutai has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You may return one of those dragons to its owner's hand. Okay, Zergo on a dragon. Pretty wild, to be honest. Having hexproof is powerful, even if it's just for one turn when it enters. Zergo and Ojutai makes an excellent commander leader for dragon tribal/typal decks. This because we are highly rewarded whenever a dragon we control connects to a player's life total or a battle card. It helps us siphon through our deck for a card we may be looking for, and we may even bounce back a dragon we control that attacked to our hand. So if that dragon has a nice enter the battlefield effect, we can reuse it later on. Overall, Zergo and Ojutai are an exceptionally powerful commander and definitely an underrated one, and that deserves more love. You can buy this commander for around $1. Alrighty, we have arrived at the end of my list. What do you think of the commanders listed in this video? Have you tried any of them before? Is there one here you'd like to pick up and play? Let me know in the comment section below. I love reading your comments and always try my best to answer more. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, check out the 2 videos that should have popped up on the screen around now or a bit earlier. Please could you drop a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to keep updated for more of my future commander content. Remember to check out Playmat Designs, their playmats are truly glorious. Thanks for watching everyone, and as always, take care and goodbye.